Hi everybody, it's December 16th, my birthday. So I haven't been down here in the shop for a while doing anything. But I've been in my travels. I've been here and there. I've picked up a couple little odds and ends, and I just thought maybe I'd throw together a little tool video, um, and we'll go from there. So it's going to be kind of a mishmash of things. Got a couple of I don't think I have any eBay items in this load, but I've got maybe a few little tool store items and a couple other things. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to reposition the camera and let's get started. Alright, so this is going to be short and sweet. Don't have a lot of stuff here to talk about, but so hit the used tool store again about a week, 2 weeks ago, and spied this nice big tap wrench. This is a GT&D, which is Greenfield Tap and Die Corporation, Greenfield, Massachusetts, number 7 tap wrench. It's got quite a bit of surface rust on it, but he only had $7.50 on this, so I bought that. These in really good condition tend to trade somewhere around $30 or $40 on eBay when you see them come up. But I'm not sure whether or not I already have a number 7. But I figured for $7.50 I'd take a chance and snap it up. I do have some of these larger ones already. Oh, okay, so I just checked, and the other large one I have that I was thinking of was this one. And this is a Wells Brothers tap wrench of Greenfield, Massachusetts. So I think that they were like a predecessor of Greenfield Tap and Die. So you can see the design is almost identical. And I can't see the number on this one, if there was a number on here. Yeah, oh, I can just see it. This is a number 7. So I've got an earlier version of this one already. So, you know, I don't know. Keep one, get rid of one, I guess. Hit the flea market over the weekend. Oh, this is the other large one I've got here. This is a number 6. And this is a Greenfield Tap and Die. It's about the same condition, rust-wise, as that number 7, but it's got a little bit of a bend in the handle. So I hit the flea market over the weekend, and I saw a guy I've bought some things from in the past. Last thing I had bought from him was that CXA tool holder, which I think I've already shown. Anyways, he had he's got a coaxial indicator, a Blake coaxial indicator in a little wooden case. I'd like to have one of those, but he's got $100 on it, and he's pretty firm on that. And that's not that's not an outrageously bad price for it, considering how clean it was. I see them trading on eBay for a little less or a little more, depending on condition. But that's just something that I kind of like to have it, but I'm not going to spend that kind of money on it. Tried to do some trading, and he was supposed to call me this week to come look at some antiques I had to see whether or not we could work a deal on that. In the meantime, an SPI indicator came up on eBay that looks like it's going to go really reasonably, so I think I might just end up buying that instead. Because the SPI indicator looks a little bit newer and has a lot more contact points in the case. Alright, well, kind of getting off the subject. If I get that, I'll show that in a future video, obviously. But this I actually got from a guy in the back room, going through his junk there, and came across this and quickly recognized that this is a can't twist clamp that somebody sprayed with some kind of god-awful coating. It almost looks like they were trying to do some kind of a camo effect on it. There's black and green camo paint on here. But this stuff's kind of flaking off pretty easily. And it's definitely a can't twist, and it's got the copper jaws, so I was like, oh, that's a nice little, you know, if I can get that for next to nothing. Somebody twisted a piece of wire on here so they could hang it up easily. So I got that for $1. So even in the condition it's in, it was well worth $1 to me. The guy with the indicator, he had a box there full of tool steel and everything like that, and they were $1 a piece. And you know, it was the usual stuff I didn't really bother with. But then I spotted this. This is a brand new never been ground piece. Still got the cosmoline or whatever this junk is all over it. And I said, yeah, you know what, for $1, it might not be a bad idea to have that. So I got that. He had a box of collets. I think it was 10 collets, and he had $30 on it. So I figured he was at $3 a collet. So I asked him if he'd sell one of them for $3, because I spotted this was the only hard-inch collet in the bunch. So this is a hard-inch, half-inch collet. I know I've got at least one, if not more, half-inch collets, but I might not have a hard-inch. My goal is to make a complete set of hard-inch collets to keep with my mill. Only because my understanding is that hard-inch is a superior product to some of the other ones that are out there. I don't know about that necessarily, but you know, I figured, the heck. I don't remember if I paid $2 or $3 for that. Even if I paid $3, that's not bad. And then one of the guys in the back room, I was looking through his junk and I came across this little flashlight, and it's clearly it's a pocket flashlight. And at first I couldn't figure out how to turn it on because I thought you're supposed to push on this, but it turns out this is actually a toggle switch on the top here. And it's kind of hard to push, but so it's a little toggle switch, and I just thought it was a neat retro looking flashlight. I don't need it, and I knew because it doesn't work that I would be able to get it for the $1 that I offered him. So for $1 I decided to take a chance and grab that, and there is a maker's name on here. I'm just going to get that. So this turns out it's a Rayovac. It says Rayovac USA on this part right here. So this is a Rayovac, and I believe they called these pen lights, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day. But you know, it's got a kind of a cool retro space race aircraft look to it. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's you know, late 60s, early 70s even. And it's really clean. I opened it up. There were a couple of batteries in there, and I don't know if the batteries are dead or what, but the light doesn't work. But the good news is there's no corrosion. It looks good inside, good and clean. So maybe, I don't know, at some point I'll take that apart, play with it, and see if I can't get it to work. At the used tool store, I did pick up this Dremel tool. He had $15 on it. I knew he wouldn't discount that, so I paid him the $15 for this. And the reason why I bought this Dremel tool, it's a variable speed, it's a model 300. The reason why I bought this Dremel tool is because I've had several, that's why I have this out right now, as a matter of fact. I've had several of these, you know, rotary tools over the years. I've had some old Dremels and that, but it seems like lately I've had just more of these knockoff, you know, no-name brand. This one is a PC rotary tool kit. This came in, you know, it says made in China right on it. This came in a case with a flexible shaft and a bunch of fittings. And what I found is that the collets on these things are really poor quality. They don't tend to hold the bits really well. And so in addition to the collets being an issue on these things, I also noticed that in a lot of these, this little button you're supposed to press here, which is supposed to lock the shaft so that you can tighten it really well. I noticed that a lot of these that fails, it breaks, and just kind of it's just a junky tool. This is a variable speed. It's got the variable speed up here. So I said, you know, what the heck, for $15, I'll buy a genuine Dremel one, and we'll, you know, put that to work at some point and come to a decision, I guess, down the road whether or not it was even worth paying the $15 for this. I did plug it in. It does work. It does have a collet in it. It's got a nice feel to it. Ergonomically, it feels nicer than this thing. But so, you know, it's in like new condition. So it's got that going for it. So $15 for that. And just in case for some reason that camera angle wasn't right, that's a Dremel 300 Dremel tool for $15 that looks like new. To replace my cheap Chinese piece of junk. Another item I got at the tool store, actually I think it was the same day I bought the tap handle. Saw it in his weekly video and said, you know what, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to see if I can't pop on that thing. I hadn't really done any research on the value of digital calipers. I've got, of course, my cheapo, my only digital caliper, electronic I should say. My only electronic caliper that I have is that cheap Pittsburgh Tools Harbor Freight piece of junk. So I wanted to get myself a nice one. And of course the Starrett ones are so expensive. So Mitutoyo seemed like would be a good alternative as far as quality versus cost. Value, that kind of thing. So he had this one that he showed on the video, and I went in and took a look at it. And then he actually had a second one. So I pulled it out, I checked it out. It's an Absolute Digimatic model, okay? And what's interesting is, well, one of the things I learned is that they actually are now, they're counterfeiting these. There's actually a video here on YouTube, a guy who is showing one he paid, supposed to be a brand new Mitutoyo that he bought off of eBay from a Chinese supplier, and it came in, and he goes through the whole thing showing you how it looks like a Mitutoyo, but it's just got some serious issues that scream that it's not. Anyways, so this is a Mitutoyo Absolute, and when you turn this on, it's got I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's got the 4 decimal places to the right of the decimal, so it's got the 10,000ths in there. And the dead giveaway on the cheap one that I saw on his video was, and he pointed out, it's like the first thing right off the bat, it only goes to thousandths, it doesn't go to 10,000ths. So problem right there. So this is a genuine Mitutoyo, and it feels good. And I checked it for repeatability. I just kept doing this, open and closing, open and closing. Open it all the way up, close it all the way down. It sticks a little bit. And I'm going to get to that in a second. I actually watched a guy online, what he did to make his stop sticking, and it was a pretty easy, like 10-second fix. So I figured I'd try that. But what I started to talk about was the value of these things. There are so many different models of digital calipers, electronic calipers that Mitutoyo has made over the years. And a lot of these look very similar, but when you go and look up what they cost new, the price is quite a bit different. So he wanted $45 for this, and I pointed out to him that it's missing the little set screw knob that goes in the top here to lock it. So he had the other one right there, and that one had the set screw in it, but that one had some signs of some corrosion on it. I think in the battery compartment or somewhere I saw some corrosion, maybe looking down in here on that one. So I said to him, I tell you what, I said, since it's missing this, I said, how about this? How about you take the thumb screw off of that one and put it on here, and I'll give you the 45. And he said, yeah, okay, because he didn't realize that it was missing this, or didn't really pay attention to it. So he was fine with that. The problem was the thumb screw on that other one was seized. It wouldn't turn. And I wasn't going to force it. So then I let him try it, and he worked at it, and he said, yeah, you can't get it out. So he says, well, hold on, I got another one of these in the back. So he went in the back room, and he pulled out a third set, which I forgot. I think those were also Mitutoyo, but they were really kind of rough. But those, he could turn the little thumb screw. So he tried taking the thumb screw out on that one, and he could unscrew it to loosen it. But when it got to a certain point, it wouldn't unscrew all the way, almost like it has some sort of a locking ring or something on the inside that would prohibit it from being able to just be unscrewed all the way and fall out. So I don't know if that's what this is supposed to have. I checked online. You can buy that thumb screw. It's $1.75 online. It's going to cost you more to ship it than what it costs for the thumb screw. But I could get the thumb screw for this, and I might do that only because not even a week after I bought this one, I found out about another one for sale that I can get for $70. which is a Mitutoyo Absolute coolant proof, or coolant whatever on it. It says coolant whatever over here, and this is all silver on that one. And it's got a lot of wear around this area here on the battery door, like from somebody handling it, and probably the coolant doing a number on it. But I'll tell you, it's smooth as glass, and I checked it out and everything. So, and that one has over here on the end, there's a little IP67, and what that IP67 indicates is it indicates the industry standard that it can take as far as being coolant proof or something like that. So the IP67 makes being present on that automatically makes that a more expensive caliper. So the battery must have been low because the display was kind of dim, so that was one of the things I was worried about. I'd have to try it with a good battery in it before I decided to buy that. And I would have bought that if I hadn't already just bought this. So I don't know, I might send this away, I might sell this one and buy that other one. I haven't decided yet. The other thing that's interesting is they sell one today that looks exactly like this, but the case is completely different now. The case is black, and the case is kind of like hollowed out on the bottom here, the way it's plastic molded. It's like polypropylene or something like that. This case, gray, does say Mitutoyo on it right here, and it does say that it's a 500-196 CE MyCal CD-6CS made in Japan. So it's the right case for this caliper. So I think this is an earlier version of that Absolute caliper. I'm not positive on that. But anyway, so now I've got, even if I don't end up getting the other one, I've got myself a decent caliper. Oh yeah, okay. So let's try that trick that I saw to see if we can't make this smoother. So all the guy did was he took a lint-free cloth, and he took plain old isopropanol alcohol, which I have here, and he basically just put a little bit on. He opened up the caliper all the way and just squirted a little bit onto the track there on the back, and I guess that's where the gummy stuff tends to want to collect over the years. And what's nice about the alcohol is it evaporates quickly and leaves no residue. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't 45, it was 35. So I bought them for 30 because of the missing little thumb wheel there. I just watched a pair of these sell on eBay. The auction hadn't quite finished yet, but I think it was wrapping up at around 55 bucks. But that's with the little thumb wheel, so these would, and the newer style case. So these, being that they would have this older style case staring people in the face, and the missing thumb wheel, I'd be hard pressed to get my, especially after eBay takes their cut and everything, I'd be hard pressed to get my 30 bucks back out of this thing, I think. Maybe not. Let me get another. I get red all over that thing. That's it. Yeah, that did make a big difference. You can hear that nice, when you close, every time you close it, you hear that nice click. On a cheap pair of calipers, that'll be really a mushy kind of closing. But yep, now that's nice and smooth. It's not dragging anywhere. It's exactly the result I was hoping for. So that was a great little tip. Alright, last item. Alright, so in the last Vernon lathe video, or second to the last one, I'm not sure what order they were in, you guys saw that I had made one of my first projects on the Wells Index Mill, which was I made the T-nut so I could mount that Aloris CA tool post, quick change tool post, on the Vernon, only to discover that I had forgotten that when I bought the tool post off the gentleman, Which, by the way, I don't know if you remember, those of you who follow my videos regularly will remember that I ended up buying 2 of them because I just got a better deal by taking them both off the guy's hands off of Craigslist. Well, I'm happy to report that I just sold I sold one of them for more money than I paid for the 2 of them, and had enough left over to cover the purchase of some more holders, which is what I'm going to get to right now. So anyways, didn't have any, he only gave me a couple of holders with the thing, and one was a boring bar holder, one was a Morse taper holder, and the other one was a drill chuck holder for a special drill chuck, but the drill chuck's missing, so I don't know what the deal is with that. May never end up getting around to getting a drill chuck for that. But more importantly, what I needed some basic holders like CA1s or CA2s. So I put the word out on a couple of the forums saying that, I was interested in buying some holders. Well, turns out, pretty much if you have a tool post already, a lot of guys are looking for extra holders. Well, as luck would have it, I did get one person who responded, but we couldn't get together on what they wanted money-wise for the holders. And actually, they didn't have the basic holders I was looking for anyways. But I got another individual down in Texas who was kind enough to get back to me and say, hey, he's got quite a few extra ones. He'd be willing to part. So he gave me a whole list of holders. And the only thing that stopped me from buying a lot more was, basically, even though he was giving me good prices, it was just laying out that much cash at one time. So anyways, I ended up working a deal with him and bought 3 holders off the bat. So I got, he had CA1s and CA2s. He had a few of each, and I checked and found out that basically the CA1, that's a good size holder there, and then the CA2, this must be the CA2. This is a CA2. The CA2 has, it's almost the same size notch as a CA1. I think it might be, no, see, they're almost identical. But the CA2 actually has a V groove in the bottom right here, and that's for holding a boring bar. But you can see that because of the way the groove is designed, there's no reason why that can't double as a another holder. So I think there is a dimension that's different on these, I thought. What's funny? When I looked it up online on Aloris's website, the CA1 and the CA2, the dimensions of these grooves were supposed to be slightly different on one from the other. But now holding them side by side, I can see they're identical. So go figure. So anyways, so I got 2 CA1s and 1 CA2 to start. So now I can mount some of those indexable carbide holders that I have. Got a whole bunch of them. I can mount some of those into these holders and then use my quick change tool post, and I can actually do some cuts on the lathe. So that'll be coming up. But that's basically it. I just wanted to show you these. Oh, I didn't mention, I ended up paying $135 for these 3 holders, and they're genuine Aloris. They're in really good condition. I mean, they're not new, but they're in really good condition. Oh, the other thing too is I've never seen these little balls on these before. I don't know if this is something he just put on himself or what, but it's kind of neat actually. It gives you something to grab onto to pull the holder on and off. But I don't know if that's a accessory that I've never seen it. I think that's just something that he added on there, or maybe whoever he got these off of added them on there. But they're kind of neat. So I guess probably in the next Vernon video you guys see will be me playing around with these holders, and actually I'm going to probably be looking for some suggestions as far as whether or not I'm even mounting the right type of holder. I have so many of those holders that I picked up in my travels, and I went to that one estate sale where they were basically selling them to me for scrap, and they were really dirty and dingy draw, but I took them. So I've got quite a few of those. So just take a quick peek here, but you can see I've got all of those there, and then in here I've got a couple more, and then I've got these cutters here, some pretty big ones there. So I've got quite a few different cutters I can try, or tool bits I should say, I guess, right? That would be more correct. So we'll have some fun with that. Flea market finds type segment here, although really isn't too much flea market related stuff. Yeah, that's all messed up. Take two.